Rich college kids bet on who could take advantage of the scholarship student first, spreading private photos until tragedy struck. After getting a second chance at life, I am back for justice. After transferring schools, I became a target for the rich boys, just another pawn in their twisted games. They acted like they were interested in me, but behind my back they made bets about who could take my virginity first. What I thought was love was nothing more than a cruel wager. They shared my photos, my private messages, and even drugged me. Eventually, the whole school mocked me, calling me pathetic, desperate, and trash. I was bullied to death by their fanatical admirers. But when I opened my eyes again, the school's golden boy grinned at me and said, "Monsieur, what a beautiful name. May I take you to dinner?" Dinner? Sure. This time let ease make it your last meal. It was my first day at St. Silicon, Augustine Academy, a prestigious private school, and also the day I was reborn. I had originally been a top student at a public high school, but St. Augustine had lured me in with promises of a better future, offering me a full scholarship, and after graduation, a $150,000 bonus. That licks 5 years' worth of my parents' combined salaries. The tuition at St. Augustine was so outrageous that my family couldn't afford even a single semester, even if we starved ourselves for a decade. But with their offer, I couldn't resist. I thought transferring here would change my life, and I wasn't wrong. It did. I became their prey, their entertainment, nothing more than a joke to pass the time. They chatted with me sweetly while secretly spreading my private messages and photos. They even made bets about my made a first night. In the end, I was cornered in a bathroom by a group of jealous girls, fans of the boys who had pretended to like me. They drowned me in a toilet, all while hurling insults. Unpathetic loser, NT desperate fool. I died humiliated, staring at the photos and messages they had plastered all over the school as my life slipped away. All I could think about was how much I hated the ones who had orchestrated it all. I wanted to tear those monsters apart, but my consciousness faded before I could even begin to imagine revenge. And then wait, I woke up. I came back. If there's such a thing as divine intervention, this was it. I didn't have much time to bask in the joy of my second chance before I ran into one of the masterminds. Ethan Monroe, Ethan Monroe, Ethan Monroe, the ever-charming gentleman with a smile so warm it could melt anyone's defenses. How fitting for the heir to a family that monopolized the country's energy industry. He had enough must-be electricity to toy with anyone he pleased. "You must be the new transfer student," he said, his voice smooth as silk. I pretended to be naive, nodding shyly. Ethan glanced at the enrollment form in my hand. Senior Class 1A. What a coincidence, looks like we were in the same class. His smile was radiant, the kind of smile that had fooled me in my past life. I had fallen so deeply into the web he spun that I didn't even realize it was a trap until the very end. What I had known back then was that none of this was a coincidence. Even my transfer to St. Augustine had been part of their plan. I was their carefully chosen prey, and Ethan, he was one of the ringleaders. I could still hear the mocking voices of his admirers in my mind. They had shown me videos of him, the perfect gentleman, his eyes filled with arrogance and disdain. "It tax, too boring around here. Of course we need someone to play with. She's perfect." So desperate to change her fate, it wax. And just like that, I had become their entertainment. As we walked toward the classroom, Ethan started giving me a brief rundown of the school's history, describing it as a haven for the wealthy and privileged. "These kids don't need good grades to secure their futures," he said with a laugh. I was really listening. My mind was already planning. Ethan waved his hand in front of my face, snapping me out of my thoughts. "Ria Carter, what a beautiful name. May I take you to dinner?" "Dinner? Sure, this time I'll make it your last supper." St. Augustine Academy was known for its sky-high tuition fees and rigorous admission process, which naturally kept the student population small. The entire high school division had only about 600 students. Among them, the most famous were Ethan Monroe and his 3 closest friends. Ethan, the golden boy, was the school's heartthrob, charming,